If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Watching Erica Kirk last night, you could see that within the grief, there is a steely resolve. She's not going to allow her husband to be forgotten. And the best she can, she doesn't want his death to be in vain. We felt the heartbreak. I may have choked up myself when she said, "How do you tell your 3-year-old where's daddy?" It has awakened something in this country that we are about to see simultaneously: revival and revolution. I'm Pastor Marty, and this is the Afternoon Drive. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell. That will give you all of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. It's the only way that we can get the word out that we're here. Thank you so very much for watching and being a part of the Afternoon Drive. After the Japanese surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, it is noted by historians that Admiral Yamamoto of the Empire of Japan stood on the flight deck of a Japanese carrier after everyone around him was celebrating this incredible attack that was successful, launched against the United States. Yamamoto said, "I fear all we have done is to awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with a terrible resolve."
I wanted to come on here and talk about the death of someone I looked up to, Charlie Kirk. And I wanted to say that it is disrespectful how people are making Fortnite memes and talking bad about him like he was a horrible person. All he did was have boldness in his faith with Jesus Christ. Like, you guys are so mean to people just because they have beliefs. We, as Christians, we respect you for your beliefs, but we tell you what's wrong and what's right, righteously. But you do not need to be making fun of him because a tragedy has happened. That's all I want to come out here to say is it's blatantly rude and disrespectful to be talking about someone's death like he's just a piece of trash. He has a family, he has kids, he has a wife. You guys would want someone to respect you if you got shot, right? If you passed away, you would not want anyone to be talking bad about you. And I saw a video, I saw someone making fun of his wife too. Like, that's just horrible and rude. And today is a very special day to me because I hit 14,000 followers, but I don't even want to celebrate that because I just feel guilty that someone I looked up to passed away. And I'm still able to be on this earth. That's how grateful you have to be. So just stop making fun of him and just go. Like, just stop making fun of him. It's not even funny.
The book of Hosea reads in chapter 8, verse 7, "They that sow to the wind shall reap the whirlwind." You go online and the absolute just vitriol and hatred being spewed toward Charlie Kirk. Now, a lot of it's being taken down because people are losing their jobs. And of course, the media's crying, "You're doxing, you're trying to suppress free speech." You know what? I don't want to hear that anymore. Because during the Biden administration, there was absolutely, in fact, even during the first Trump administration through the Biden administration, There was no hue and cry from anyone on the left protesting conservatives being doxxed, conservatives losing social media platforms. And it happened over and over and over. Conservatives sitting in a restaurant, eating a meal with their family, only to be spit on and have protesters and people circle them because Mad Maxine Waters said, if you see one of these Trump people, you surround them, whether it's at a store or a gasoline station, and you let them know. So I don't want to hear it. And to say this is going on both the left and the right, don't forget about those state senators in Iowa. Yeah, don't forget that Charlie Kirk has been dead 3 days. Not one American city on fire. Not one Nike store has been looted. No, I'm sorry. We are not the same.
Is this a moment for your party to reflect on political violence? Is it a moment for us to think about the responsibility of our political leaders and their voices and what it does to the masses as they get lost in misinformation or disinformation that turns in and spills into political violence?
Now, as a Christian, as a pastor, as a logical individual, I know the proper nuanced response I should give to that. Yeah, just allow me to say right out, this guy is a prick and a douchebag. Really? You're looking at the former Republican Speaker of the House, Mr. McCarthy, and you're lecturing him. Does your side, now that one of its own has been slain, begin to understand that all the disinformation that you put out there and spew, that it plays on the psyche? Are you out of your ever-loving mind? All of the disinformation that we spew, 99% of our time on here when we're making these kinds of videos and commentary is we are trying to absolutely give the counterbalance to the disinformation that comes to us from the so-called legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media and the Democratic talking heads. We're the spewers of disinformation. Absolutely unconscionable the way these people, and of course, I guess you have to, because if you're any kind of a human being at all, you have to look at what happened to Charlie Kirk and feel something. And in order to turn off your emotions and not feel anything so that you can stay on the attack for your party and preach the party line, one of two things has to be true then. You're actually not human. You're a subhuman carbon-based life form, or in your mind, you've got to actually give it a revisionist twist so that you can still convince yourself of a moral superiority. No, it's people like you, it's the media, day in, day out, this barrage, using phrases like Hitler, racist, fascist, etc., etc., etc. You're radicalized, this Mormon kid who decided to take matters into his own hand to, quote, protect the democracy. Is that not what Gavin Newsom and J.B. Fatback Pritzker keep telling people? We've got to fight! Yeah. And this is what you get.
What I do know for sure is that, Charlie was someone who once said, guns save lives after a school shooting. Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard, downplay slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country.
No, he didn't.
By saying Juneteenth should never exist.
Right, he was right about that too.
And I think, there are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, than to completely pretend that his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or so.
First of all, let me get real straight here. I'm not going to be lectured to by Ilk Omar who married her brother so she could obtain citizenship here. I mean, here we have a Somali Muslim sitting with a Pakistani through Britain Muslim trashing American ideals, trashing a man that's dead and basically saying it's his own fault because he defended gun rights. What? What? Guns save lives. They do. Like it or not, we live in a world that has guns in it. And all the so-called safe places we create that are gun-free zones, if you notice, that's where the most violent crime is taking place. I promise you, the college campus that Charlie Kirk was debating on in Utah is a gun-free zone. I promise you that. Had he had better security, obviously he's not the president of the United States. You wouldn't think he'd have to put people up on buildings, but apparently now this is what it's come to and this is what we have to do. But to be lectured to by two foreigners, and Ilk Omar has no business being a representative for the United States. Absolutely none whatsoever. But as I said earlier, they that sow to the wind reap the whirlwind. As Erica Kirk put it, they have no idea what they've done, what they've unleashed. As Yamamoto said, you have awakened a sleeping giant and filled him with a terrible resolve. As a result, the Democrats are now losing, hemorrhaging support.
Let me just say it now. In 3 years, I am not voting for Democrats.
As a registered Democrat, all I have to say is the Charlie Kirk shooting just proves that we are the worst, man. My party is worse. I got people celebrating, hoping that he dies. Where's the empathy? Where's the respect, man? It's disgusting. It's disgusting, truly. And the fact of the matter is this: he was a father, and whether or not I agree with his political opinions, all he truly wanted to do at the core was see this country be the best, and to see people just be blatantly disgusting. Man, we're the worst, man.
It has been said, a lie has speed, but truth has endurance. In fact, the Word of God declares, truth crushed to earth shall rise again. And people are done being gaslit by the Democratic Party. And Black Americans, who have so much more in common with conservatives anyway, if you look at the typical Black family, it is traditional in the sense of faith and children who are disciplined, etc., etc. They're now waking up and realizing they have been put on a plantation, not by the evil Republicans, but by the Democrats themselves. And they've said, that's enough.
I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican either, but I'm not a Democrat. And I just noticed, like, certain things, like the way that the conversation would be shut down by calling somebody a name or calling somebody a bigot. It's like, okay, and why am I a bigot just because I disagree with you? Like, I can disagree with you and still not want anything bad for you. I just disagree. And it's like, oh, you're personally committing violence against me if you disagree. It's like, that's a cop-out. And I would notice certain things like that. I would notice that I was being intentionally angered every 4 years so that I would go out and vote. It would be a new token thing to like get behind. Oh, if you don't vote this year, this thing is going to happen and everything's going to be taken away. But then the next year, none of those things would happen. So I was just being gaslit every single time. And it's crazy because like I didn't recognize it. But, as I started to just see it, I started to see how like it's one thing to believe in something, it's another thing to tell somebody they're bad if they don't, especially if the view is wacky, crazy, and all the way out there. You know, canceling somebody for something that they did when they was 8 years old, for something that they said when they was 8 years old, and that thing wasn't even a slur back then. It's like, what are we like do? Like, people can't grow. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's a way to keep people in control. And if you don't think exactly how I think, if you ever step in line, I can just, like, you know, take away. You know what I'm trying to say? And it was just very controlling, but just very evil. And like, the moral superiority, the moral high horse, and the performative activism was crazy. Like, oh, we are so oppressed, and go, like, ride to Starbucks. It's like, there's actually people that are in different countries, and like, that's very disrespectful to them to say that you're oppressed like that. Like, you know, I would debate people down. And here's the thing, I had to come to realization that, like, I would go online to see what I should feel about a subject instead of actually saying what I did feel about the subject, to see what they were saying, and I would hop on it. And I had to be honest, I was hopping on bandwagons. And yes, it was when I was younger, but as I just grew older, I'm like, this not it. And finally, when it comes to the death of somebody, it's like, it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter what they think. Nobody deserves that. I can see if you just heard about it, but you saw it on camera and you still saying you ain't sad about it. That's like, your humanity is now lost. Like, politics is making like some of them crazy. And that's why I was just like, oh, y'all are drinking Kool-Aid right now, and I'm not gonna drink that. Like, I'm gonna just walk off. And that's one of the reasons why, and it's the nail in the coffin, because if you are so politicked out that you cannot cry when somebody unalive, you're not as moral as you think you are.
I absolutely love that. Talk about being oppressed while you're on your way to Starbucks. Exactly. Someone else who's not buying that whole we're oppressed thing is Stephen A. over at ESPN. He's had enough of that. He's wildly successful, a huge influencer. And he talks about, he said, wherever I go, people who don't look like me, you know, high-five me and give me love and respect what I do. And there it is. Ding, 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 ding. Respect what you do. And so some of you that might feel sometimes the look of condemnation, I'm talking about you in the minority community on the left, it's not the color of your skin. It is rather the results of your behavior and your actions. As I said earlier, it's been over 48 hours since Charlie died. Not one city on fire. Not one Nike store looted. Not one business burned to the ground. Not one idiot Republican governor wife saying, the smell of burning tires in the city is the smell of freedom. That would be the lunatic that lunatic Tim Walz is married to. It makes me shudder to think we almost handed the keys of power to him and, you know, Kamala. There's a word I wanted to call her, and Holy Spirit said, not today. But Stephen A., he's had enough.
At some point in time, we got to recognize, can't just speak about it. Can't just give lip service to when such a vile act takes place. And we're going to give lip service to the tragedy of the moment. And then within 24 hours, we move on with our lives like nothing happened. Something did happen. I don't care what his political beliefs were. I don't care what he felt. I care about the fact that a man was gunned down in front of two of his children who are 5 years of age or less. That he's dead at the age of 31. That his wife is a widow. That his children are fatherless. Because his ideas and his beliefs differed from somebody else, apparently. And then I'm going online and I'm seeing people celebrating it. Shame. Shame on you.
I think the best way to sum all of this up are in the words of Erica Kirk.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. The movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever.